Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Snuggery's production this evening. Tonight we will be broadcasting live from Downsville, Maryland, to the four far-flung corners of the world. Without further ado, Anthony Frijia.
Tonight is the greatest night of all time for music. And I know what you're thinking. Damn, Anthony, that's a pretty arrogant thing to say. But I don't say it's 'cause I'm playing. No, it's not 'cause I'm singing for you tonight. It's 'cause we have all the art and all the music that's ever been made, plus the new stuff that just came out today, and that's true every day. But we're always dreaming of the good old days. I get it, we love to romanticize the past. We say there will never be another era like the 70s, and that might be true, but what's the point in believing that? We owe it to ourselves to believe things can get better, and we also should keep trying to get better at things. But most of all, we gotta do better at enjoying whatever every new day brings. Now listen, I'm not saying I'm ever gonna be able to rock like Led Zeppelin. Obviously I can't. I do 3 chords and play harmonica. I'm not saying I'll ever be the greatest troubadour of all time, another Joni Mitchell, another John Prine, but I can try. I can try. I can try. Now, here's another fact people love to ignore. All the greats are stealing from all the greats who came before. Van Gogh stole from Monet, Millet painted in his dreams. So surely someone else will come along and paint the nicest, most beautiful starry night sky we've ever seen. That's what I believe. I get my saddest ideas from Isbell. I stole this chorus from John Craigie. I get the rest of my ideas from my friends. I guess that makes me lazy. But I'm trying my best, just like everyone I know. It's hard not to break a little when life says go, go, go. Now I'm not saying I can be the greatest troubadour of all time, another Bob Dylan, another Will Wright, but I can try. I can try. All of my friends are trying. Everyone I know is trying. Thank you all for coming tonight and watching me try. I don't make my bed anymore, 'cause every time I make my bed, someone tells me I've gotta lay in it. So I don't make my bed anymore. And I can't remember the last time I made a bed I'd wanna wake up in. I don't make my bed anymore, 'cause it reminds me of the part of being a kid when my dad would tell me to act like an adult. Being an adult ain't shit. I'd rather just be a kid. So I've been sleeping on the couch I've been counting sheep. I've been looking in the fridge every hour, hoping there's something new to eat. I don't go on dinner dates anymore. There's only two things that are ever on the menu: wasted time and hope that'll crumble somewhere down the line. And I always end up with too much on my plate, so I don't go on dates anymore. And I don't go on dinner dates anymore. Talking to one stranger is enough. Talking to two strangers is way too much. And every time the server comes around with my plate, I think to myself, I could have made this so much better. Let me cook. And half the time I regret what I ate, so I don't go on dates anymore. So I've been sleeping on the couch. I've been counting sheep. I've been looking in the fridge every hour, hoping there's something new to eat. I was supposed to play harmonica here. I forgot. I don't play my harmonicas anymore. Every time I play harmonica, someone interrupts me in the middle of whatever song I'm playing. Tells me to play Piano Man by Billy Joel. I tell him no. I've come a long way as a guitar man, playing my own songs out on the road. I'm far from home. I've been sleeping on your couch. I've been counting sheep. I've been looking in your fridge every hour, hoping you got something new for me to eat. Well, I don't make my bed anymore. I don't want to undo any of the progress that I've made. And last night was the first night I paused my mind long enough to sleep in 7 days, maybe 8. Thank you all so much for coming tonight. That song, while I do a little tune here, I thought of the idea for it when I was when I woke up in a home of a family that I didn't really know in Big Sur, California, and I know the song doesn't really sound like it, but the at least conception of the song comes from my appreciation for the kindness of strangers who I meet when I'm out on tour, and I think a lot of you know that I just got back from a long tour, so I thought it was a fitting song to play there at the beginning of the show. And then I started thinking about when I was finishing it and I was writing my set list for this show. Right before I left for tour, a few months ago, let me back up for a minute. A few months ago, I moved into a new house in a new neighborhood. And right before I left for tour, a family from my neighborhood came over and brought me brownies. And the couple is right about my age, and they brought their 3 kids, and they brought me brownies. And I ate like one, and then I gave the rest to my friends. And I was thinking about the perception of, like, if only the guy came I probably wouldn't have eaten the brownies. I probably wouldn't have trusted the brownies. And but I was thinking about how I get invited to stay in people's houses when I'm on tour, and I was thinking, like, the van was set up right there just for this whole bit. That's not true at all. But I was thinking, like, what do I look like when I roll out of a van dressed like a homeless guy, an old white van with dents in it? I don't think anyone invites that guy into their home, but I think my guitar is sort of like my wife and kids. Like, I don't know what that does for the perception, but it gets me invited into people's houses. And I think if I played music and then brought someone brownies, they'd probably eat them. There was just a funny parallel to me. I was thinking about that when I was finishing up that song. It's called I Don't Make My Bed Anymore. Anyway, that was a bit about nothing. Here's a song about my grandfather. I've got a picture of us from 1994. I'm casting a line, you're licking a load, and my dreams could fill the whole ocean back then. You helped put them in motion back then. I've got a picture of us from 2005. I was a jump shooter, you always wanted me to drive, but I was 15 and dumb and didn't think I could get much better. And when you're 15 years old, everything is forever. You taught me half of everything I know. The other half I learned from letting you go. I've got this picture of you laying in your bed, and if it could speak 1,000 words, it would just repeat what you said. You said, I hope you know how much I love you. I'll be watching from above you till I see you again. Well, you taught me half of everything I know. The other half I learned from letting you go. From letting you go. Letting you go. Well, I set you in the car and drove north to the bay. I let the wind and the tides carry your ashes away, letting you go. And I swear you were still with me on the ride home that night, letting you go. I've never seen stars in Michigan that bright. You taught me half of everything I know. The other half I learned from letting you go. Letting you go. From letting you go. Thank you all very much. It'll take a second to see who's here. If you all don't know, we are recording this evening for a live record. And so I've always thought the folk singer thing was cool. I don't think I've ever really done that in the traditional sense. But if you're to be a true folk singer, you've got to do topical songs. So I think the studio records, the goal is to have songs that can be timeless. And for like the live records, I wanted to write some new songs, and I wanted some of them to be topical songs. The topical songs, you have to write them with urgency while they're still topical. And that's the folk singer thing. And while I was working on this, I realized that topical songs for folk singers are usually not about good things. So it's an interesting catch-22 of you have to write them while they're topical, but you also don't want them to be topical for very long. I was thinking about this. I got hired to play a Valentine's night dinner, obviously a few months ago. And people were like, do some love songs. I was thinking about like the covers that I know that are like the happy love songs. I was like, I don't know any of those. But luckily people don't listen that much. So they're like, Heart of Gold, oh, that's a nice one. I'm like, that's a guy who doesn't have any love and he's looking for it. Not a love song. But play all those and kept the people happy. And I was just thinking, no topical songs. The topical songs, we tend to want them to not be topical or relevant for much longer. So anyway, this is a topical song that hopefully will not stand the test of time. This song is called Expensive Date. I sat down, table for two. She was late, they always are. Ordered a beer and I waited. She showed up, ordered a whiskey flip. I was like, what's in that? Whiskey, nutmeg, simple syrup, and a whole egg. I was like, oh my God, and I trembled in fear. She said, what's wrong? I said, have you been to a grocery store this year? She was an expensive date. She was an expensive date. Peacock should be laughing at this one. Next thing I knew, she was dancing around the room in a leopard print bodysuit, singing the words to every single tune this jazz trio was playing. Ooh, mostly covers by Usher and T-Pain. Ooh, I don't dance, well at least until tonight, that was true. The next thing I knew, she had stolen my heart and my ACLs too. She was an expensive date. She was an expensive date. I texted her in the morning to thank her for meeting me out, but I didn't hear back. What the heck is that about? I gave it 24 hours, and 24 hours later, still nothing. Damn. So 5 hours later, I'm back at the bar, ordered a whiskey flip. The first one was to pretend she was with me. The fifth one was to pretend she was never with me. She was an expensive date. She was an expensive date. Next thing I knew, she had stolen my heart and my willpower too. She was an expensive date. She was an expensive date. almost made it peacock print bodysuit. This is Susan on the video here. And I only say that because somehow she just showed up and her appearance, her presence surprised me, even though I kind of know she's going to be here. And I looked at her and I thought, well, I should say something. So everybody give it up for Susan on the video here. I was lucky enough to go to Costa Rica with my band in January, and we got to do a couple shows and have a great time. And one thing about Costa Rica, I don't know, has anyone been to Costa Rica before? Oh, nice, we got like 9 people. So Costa Rica is beautiful, and one thing I noticed that I had never seen before was they have a lot of stray dogs there, but they're like good-looking stray dogs. They look like, I don't know who takes care of them, but they're all like dogs that look like they have owners that go home to families every night, but they're just on the beach having a great time. And so I was on the beach. I was walking on the beach with a couple of my friends, and we saw this one dog that was just having a great time out there. And Brent said, he just kind of looked up at the sky and he said, man, when I die, I hope I come back as a dog in Costa Rica. And I was like, Brent, it's a good thing that you play guitar and bass and don't write songs, because I'm taking that one. So we met one specific dog in Costa Rica named Chispa, and this song is called Chispa. I'm going to do a little tune here too, because we can edit that out. That's a nice part. And we want to be in tune here. This song is called Chispa. Footprints and paw prints scattered on the beach. Chispa jumps away to catch a frisbee and brings it back to me. And when I throw it back to the ocean, he returns it to a little girl. She gives him a treat. Well, I came here from Baltimore to escape the winter cold. Those long and lonely days are getting old. But even my time here, sipping coconuts, is bittersweet. 'Cause in the back of my mind, I know I gotta go back to the cold at the end of the week. When I die, I wanna come back as a dog in Costa Rica. Yeah, when I die, find me on Langosta Beach, call me Chispa. Well, Chispa is a Spanish word that means light or spark. I wanna be a little Chispa in your heart. Maybe I could lift you up when times are hard. Yeah, everybody out here searching for their purpose, yes they are. So when I die, I wanna come back as a dog in Costa Rica. Yeah, when I die, find me on Langosta Beach, call me Chispa. I recently learned that Chispa is also a new Latina dating app. And I've been on dating apps, but I've never been a dating app. So I was thinking about all the responsibility, all the love that I could see, all the loneliness and anxiety, which usually, ironically, caused by love. But I won't let this new information keep me from my dream of reincarnation. 'Cause people are always gonna put you in a box with someone or something from their past. It's just people doing what people do, but dogs don't do that. So if you ever wanna know what it feels like to be unconditionally loved, you don't need to search for your match on the Chispa app, because there's a much simpler option. Get a dog instead. Dogs are born with love in every beat of their hearts until they're dead. So when I die, I wanna come back as a dog in Costa Rica. Yeah, when I die, find me on Langosta Beach, call me Chispa. Oh, when I die, I wanna come back as a dog in Costa Rica. Yeah, when I die, find me on Langosta Beach, call me Chispa. Many of you know, I suffered an unimaginable loss this week. So now I play all my gigs as a duo gig. I recorded a record last year. It's called The Artifacts of Letting Go. And my boots got chewed up, so they're my new favorite artifact of letting go. I'll probably wear them for the rest of my walking life. Before the show, Will had a guitar hanging up there. This is a true story. I wasn't here, but I've been told this story by numerous people who were here. There was a guitar hanging here, right in this beautiful entryway where the moon is, and the guitar fell, and everybody around heard a big crash, and they went to get the guitar, and the guitar has vanished. So I don't know what to do with that. But it's really something. And if you have the guitar, Will would probably appreciate it. But anyway, I play all my gigs as a duo gig now. This song is from my record, The Artifacts of Letting Go record. This is a song called Ancient Ruins. I'm sailing away from the shipwreck, left it for the darkness and the sharks to feast on what's left. I'm sailing away from the coast, I'm choking on ashes and smoke. monuments crumble to ruins and rubble. Ooh, and I pity the next great archaeologist who digs you, who digs you, who digs you up. All the nights I climbed and I clawed through the catacombs where no one goes, trying to translate the writing on the walls. All the nights I scoured the ground. I was patient with my excavation till I found the treasure. I pulled the lever, ooh, and I pity the next great archaeologist who digs you, who digs you, who digs you up, who digs you up, who digs you up. All across the world people will marvel at the castles built from fool's gold and marble. And all across the sea people will pass me, flocking north to your fabled city. And I wish I could warn them all of the curse. I've never seen so many secrets sunken. I wish I could warn them all of your curse. I wish I could warn them all. Wish I could warn them all. Wish I could warn them all. And I pity next great archaeologist who digs you, who digs you, who digs you up. I'm sailing away from the shipwreck, from the shipwreck, from the shipwreck. Thank you so much. I realized I mentioned Will, and some of you may not know, Will, one of my favorite people. Will is a great friend of mine, and he doesn't live in this barn, I don't think, but he lives around here somewhere.
I was born in it.
And he, I don't know if that's true or not, but I believe it. And I'm very thankful for Will for inviting me not only to play the second Snuggery sessions ever, but on his birthday. So happy.
Your birthday recently?
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, you want to sing a song?
Yes.
Okay, on three. You all know the song? 3, 2, 1.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Emily.
that's nice.
Birthday to you.
Love you.
I think you may have looked at my set list and premeditated that. But thank you, everybody. Will had a little birthday gig this morning at a coffee shop. He invited me to it, and I went. And it was a very beautiful morning. I don't play in the morning very often. This is more my time. But Will responds to my text at like 6 a.m. because the rooster crows probably. And I was at his gig. He had a lot of fans and friends and family members there. And I won't call anybody out, but one of his family members, I said, came up to me while I was sitting there and said, "You gonna be around for the show tonight?" And I said, "I hope so." And he said, "You look like the guy who's playing." And I said, "I hope so." So, here we are. Sat together in the park as the evening sky grew dark. She looked at him and he felt a spark, a tingle to his bones. It was then he felt alone and wished that he'd gone straight, watched out for a simple twist of fate. They walked alone by the old canal, a little confused, I remember well, and stopped into a strange hotel with a neon burning bright. He felt the heat of the night, and it hit him like a freight train moving with a simple twist of fate. A saxophone someplace far off played as she was walking on by the arcade. Light bust through a beat-up shade where he was waking up. She dropped a coin into a cup of a blind man at the gate and forgot about a simple twist of fate. Up, the room was bare. He didn't see her anywhere. He told himself he didn't care and pushed the window open wide. He felt an emptiness inside to which he could not relate, brought on by a simple twist of fate. He hears the ticking of the clocks, walks along with a parrot that talks, and hunts her down by the waterfront docks where the sailors all come in. Maybe she'll pick him out again. And how long must he wait? One more time for a simple twist of fate. People tell me it's a sin to know and feel too much within. I still believe she was my twin, but I lost the ring. She was born in spring, but I was born too late. Blame it on a simple twist of fate. right. I'm not keeping track of time, but I told some people it would be 2 45-minute sets. I'm going to do one more song. And then we'll take a break. I have no idea. I think I'm at the time when I've done longer than my opening sets. I've been on tour and I've been doing a lot of opening sets and songwriter rounds, and that's unusual and different for me because I like to play a lot of songs, and I like to talk a lot. If you haven't noticed, and so they usually just do a few songs. I have time for about this amount of songs. So I think we finally exceeded that amount of songs. But one thing that's funny about the opening set is that there's usually somebody that introduces me. And I'm Anthony Frijia. Thank you all for coming. A lot of times they introduce me and they just take a wild guess as to what my name is, my last name. They get Anthony right, but they don't often get the Frijia right. And they just guess, and usually the J is silent. And like half the time I'm like a Mexican food menu item. or Frijia. I'm like, come on, these jokes ain't free, man. Like, but I was thinking Free Laughter would be a good band name if I had a band. But I like to play a lot of songs, so I'm excited to do another set. We're gonna do one more, and then we're gonna do one more, and then do this again. It's gonna be all the same songs, so if you want to go, this is actually my practice run. Yeah. If you know the words to this, feel free to sing along. It's good. You'll be on a live record. Well, I moved here in this beat-up van. If you want a good joke, I tell you my plan, it all fell through. And I've heard so many people say it's always sunny in San Diego, but I haven't seen the light in days. And I've been wandering down this stretch of sand, and I feel my dreams slipping through my hands. And when I look up, the ocean just goes on forever. And I knew my troubles could outrun the ocean when summer ended, but the fall breeze never came. I wanna go home to Maryland as the leaves change. Well, back home you can almost taste the smoke from the bonfires off Mountain Road that burn as the nights grow longer. Like my shadow when I sit outside and watch the hills drink the last of the autumn sun. And back home the birds are in their V's, soaring south above the trees and watching the sugar maples out in Deep Creek shed their green. Well, I remember every turn out there, pretending our hands were airplanes, but those days have flown away. So I wanna go home to Maryland as the leaves change. I wanna go home to Maryland as the leaves change. Someone told me that I should go to a town in the mountains covered in snow, lone pine. I said it sounds nice, but have you ever gazed across the water at the banks of the Susquehanna, painted gold after a late October rain? Well, I wanna hear the crunch under my feet, headed down an old cobblestone street, and the bank is rolling, the flip of the coin, the bars are full every Sunday morning. The city outside is red and yellow and amber and purple and black, then I miss those days. So I wanna go home to Maryland as the leaves change. I wanna go home to Maryland as the leaves change. I wanna go home to Maryland as the leaves change. That's how you make it the real Snuggery sessions. Everybody huddle up under a blanket. Yeah, I wasn't going to call anybody out, Sam, but... And in case you forgot, there are some really cool t-shirts that are complimentary. So make sure you don't leave without your t-shirt. I did my best. I mean, it was in the invitation, so it's really on you if you didn't respond. But I did my best to ask everybody their size. So Will sewed all of these by hand, and he made the logo too. And they're awesome. Got to look at them earlier. Great. This song's called When the Morning Comes. It'd be a very fitting time for that peacock to make some sound. World in the morning light is still. The bluebird roosts in the cherry tree with grain from the mill, and sings to himself, I have everything I need. Be like the birds, despite what you have heard from whispers in the breeze. And I don't like watching the news. I'd rather look out my window to find out what is true. Sometimes I find it relatively easy to be myself. And sometimes I go to bed at night wishing I was someone else. When the morning comes, you're nothing if not free. When the morning comes, in a world you haven't seen. When the morning comes, when the morning still. The mist clears and the sun comes over the hill. Well, sometimes I make my coffee in the quiet. Sometimes I put a record on. If you're weary of the past, welcome the dawn. Keep moving on. When the morning comes, you're nothing if not free. When the morning comes, in a world you haven't seen. When the morning comes, when the morning comes. Thanks so much. Seems like my harmonica got a disease or something. So we're going to give that a rest. While I was on my set break, one of my friends was mentioning that he had only seen me play in breweries. I play a lot of breweries. And one of my favorite things about the brewery gig and the bar gig, there's a lot that I could complain about the brewery and the bar gig, but one of my favorite things is the local gigs. I don't know if you guys know anybody like this, but I love to see somebody who, like, I went to high school with, and they were just not somebody that I liked in high school. Maybe kind of like a bully, or like, you know, had a massive ego, or thought they were like the best person in the world because they, you know, were good at basketball when they were 17. And I love to see those people just hammered at the bar, just miserable. And just see them and just be like, I know you've never been out of Bel Air, Maryland. I don't wish bad things on people, but there are exceptions to every rule. And I like that because I'm happy to do my job. So I was thinking about that, and I wrote this song. I carried that bastard shoulder pads out to practice every day. Coach let him play even though he cheated his way to a 1.9 GPA. And I hated every time he got the ball. He'd take it to the house damn near every play. And it went to his head when he made all county. Everybody in town knew his name. He played hard. He was popular. His mom packed his lunch with a silver spoon. And he played hard till he graduated. Then it all went downhill. Well, the offers didn't come for D1 or D2, so he ended up at Salisbury with me. He'd get fucked up at parties and tell everyone he met he was going to Texas till he tore his knee. He was built like a linebacker from the waist down, had a quarterback smile and charm. He had Sigma Kappa sisters swinging from all of his legs and a girlfriend from home on his arm. Cause he played hard and he was popular. He showed up to campus with a silver spoon. And he played hard till he graduated. Then it it all went downhill. Well, nowadays I see old Chad when I'm home from the road on Thanksgiving Eve. I'm at Boland's behind the mic doing a job that I like, and I'm thankful that I didn't peak when I was 17. But he did, and he's over there drunk as hell, reliving his high school days, talking at anyone in earshot about the time he scored 5 touchdowns on senior day. Nobody cares. Thank you all. I don't know if any of you have heard of a musician named Joey Harcum. He's a great friend of mine, and he and I wrote a song together a couple years ago, and I want to do it. I don't play it very often, but the reason I'm saying this is because if I could ask for some audience participation, that would be great. There's a part that just goes, oh, and then when we were, this wasn't part of what I was going to say, but I'm remembering when we were producing this song in the studio, my producer, who I'll talk about later, he kept saying, let's have this part where there's this whole chorus of people going, oh, and then you're going to keep singing, and when you play it in front of like big groups of people that are listening, they'll all be going, oh, and I was like, I don't play in front of big groups of people, brother. I play for like 4 people. Like, what is the show that you're talking about? And I feel like maybe he was talking about the Snuggery sessions on May 10th, 25. So I thought I'd try it. There's a late add to the set list. The song is called Funeral for My Past. I can feel myself healing, but it's hard to move on. Carrying this weight held me back for so long. The loss, the pain, the love, the shame. Tonight I'll bury it all at last. Down on my knees, I'll dig a hole deep and wide. I'll dig till I get to the roots of my pride. I'll burn these memories to ashes and shut the casket. Tonight, I'll hold a funeral for my past. Nowadays I feel like a man with no tribe. All of my heroes broke my heart or died. So now I burn my bridges with a smile on my face. I can count on my hands the things I love that cannot be replaced. Years they have left my soul hardened and worn. Reflections of lessons that have left my heart scorned. But time heals the wounds when forgiveness is a cast. So tonight I'll hold a funeral for my past. Tonight I'll hold a funeral for my past. there something inside you that you just can't let go? It's not serving your heart or your mind or your soul. Well, you're not alone, and the future is very, very, very vast. So tonight we'll hold a funeral. Here you go. The future is a garden that will grow. 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 So tonight I'll hold a funeral for my past. Thank you so much for your help there. I said I'd talk about my producer later, so so many people had such nice things to say about most of them were about my songs and how great it sounds in here tonight.
Yeah.
And I would say thank you, but the real point of this bit of intermission is that you're really applauding Garmin more than me. So I am I could cry. I am eternally grateful for him. He taught me how to write songs somehow over the last decade or so. And when I mentioned earlier that Will invited me to his gig, he invited me to play a couple songs too. And I played a couple songs, and one couple came up and they were saying that they really liked my lyrics, and I was like, luckily Garmin was right there. I was like, look at this guy. Garmin's just spent his whole life here the last 48 hours, I think, getting it to sound as amazing as it does in here. So one more round of applause for Garmin. And isn't it interesting how rounds of applause are always like the same length? How are humans so in sync like that? Every round of applause is the same length. But what I wanted to say is this couple was very kindly complimenting my songwriting and my lyrics, and they wanted to buy a CD, so they did, which was cool because I wasn't even expecting to be at this coffee shop as of yesterday. And I got to thinking about all the funny things that people give me on the road and tips and stuff like that, because the woman tipped me, she bought the CD, but she tipped me a book that she had written about the summer she met her husband when he was racing NASCAR. And I can't tell you anything about it yet because I haven't had time to read it. But while I was on tour, a girl tipped me a Chick-fil-A gift card and a Pokemon card. And I also got a bottle of tequila recently. And I got the bottle of tequila when I was out in Northern California. I love playing out there. The air is so fresh and so clean. and I had this idea. This is another topical song. I don't think it's that controversial to say, like, moderation is good, you know. So I had originally started writing this song as a way exaggeration. And then the thing that I was talking about kind of got signed into legality when the song was already in progress, which was kind of funny. But I think I'm a guy that thinks protecting the environment is important. So anyway, this song is called Woodworking, which is seriously a thing that I am very interested in doing, and clearly someone around here knows how to do it. So this is Woodworking. Today I'm riding, winding through the redwoods of Eureka. I feel small, trees are tall. The president just made a new law. You can go into the parks with a saw and take whatever you want. You can ravage it all. This year, I guess I'm gonna learn how to woodwork, chopping down and hammering away sugar pines and birch. Well, the apocalypse is here, but I'll have nothing to fear. I'll be pillaging the villages and building the life of my dreams. I'm gonna build a little cabin, 2 bed, 2 bath, 2 level deck in the back of the space that I've cleared. Kick back and drink a few beers. I watch the squirrels and the deer, wondering why the hell there's nothing to forage for anymore on the forest floor. Well, this year I guess I'm gonna learn how to woodwork, sanding down and hammering away sugar pines and birch. Well, the apocalypse is here, but I'll have nothing to fear. I'll be pillaging the villages and building the life of my dreams. I'll have a rooftop saloon, spruce top guitar shining on the wall, live edge bar made from pine that I'll chop down. It won't make a sound. And right above the kitchen, 3-story addition, and I'll be on a mission to build a port. The views of the rivers and the trails will be bitchin' once you make it to the top floor. I'm gonna have the biggest mansion in town. I'm gonna have the biggest mansion around. 'Cause this year I'm gonna learn how to woodwork, chopping down and hammering away sugar pines and birch. Well, the apocalypse is here, but I'll have nothing to fear. I'll be pillaging the villages and building the life of my dreams. When the trees are all gone, the light will break me at the wake of dawn, illuminates the smog on my lawn, covers up the regret. It covers up the regret. Thank you very much. Well, I'd been sleeping well, but I'd been sleeping alone. You'd been fighting demons, and I had my own. You woke me like the rain on my roof in the desert. You shook me like the winds in Jasper. They were gone in a flash, and I said goodbye. What a year it's been, a flood in my eyes. Why, the lovelier the loss, the heavier the weight. Had a memory on my back's about to break. It was all I could take, I couldn't stand the pain. You woke me like the rain on my roof in the desert. You shook me like the winds in Jasper that night. Once upon a time, I saw two falling trees lean on each other, brace against the breeze. Now I can't save you, but I'll be a space. Come as you are, in your pain and your grace. Lines on your face from the dreams that you've chased. You woke me like the rain on my roof in the desert. You shook me like the winds in Jasper that night. I was still as a stone deep in the canyon. I did not expect you when you swept me away. How far off the beaten path must we go? How far off the beaten path must we go? What if I'm happy, hurting and healing, feeling it all at the same damn time? Well, I'd been sleeping well, but I'd been sleeping alone. And you'd been fighting demons, and I had my own. I was still as a stone, deep in the canyon. I did not expect you. Can't decide if I like or dislike how loud the harmonica is when it goes onto the harmonica holder. Bang! It's kind of funny, it's like a spank sound. I have a new record out. I know I said it already, but I have a new record out, and this is technically the last show of my tour for my record, The Artifacts of Letting Go. And after the show, there will be a merch table back there. Well, it's there already, but and it will be there also. And I'll have there will be copies of my record in the CD format, like the woman picked up this morning, and you don't have to give me a book. And also copies of my record on vinyl, and also tour T-shirts. I've never had an official tour T-shirt, but you can acquire one. I got all the dates, including this one. Also hand sewn by Will. And I'm just bringing it up now because I'm playing another song from my record. This song is called Lemonade. Sunday morning, wake up slow. It was Friday night a few hours ago. Time flutters on a hummingbird's wings with you. Well, I could make coffee and you could make the bed, or we could just lay here instead, and I'd sing about things you already know to be true. Ooh, I love it when you're here. Ooh, I love it when you're here. I like the way your hand fits in mine, like lemonade in the summertime. But I love it when you're here. I'll never forget you were 22 minutes late for our first date. But after all the years I've waited, I'd say you were right on time. And as I fell into your emerald eyes, it didn't take long for me to realize that was the last time I'd ever have the first date butterflies. Ooh, I love it when you're here. Ooh, I love it when you're here. I like the way your hand fits in mine, like lemonade in the summertime. But I love it when you're here. Thank you. I remember starting out songwriting and not really knowing how to write a song. Will brought me this beer and haven't. Thanks for the beer, Will. And I started writing songs when I was in college. This is my first song that I wrote. And I remember I wrote it in Paula Morris's marketing class. Shout out to her. She used to be like, I love how you're so diligent at taking notes, Anthony. I'd be like, if you only check my notebook, Professor Morris, I have no notes. Oceans swimming, mountains climb, while you are in the waves of time. And hope is always on your side, so smile away your fears goodbye. back. Round and round the world goes around, while we stay standing on the ground. Our brothers and sisters gather round, watch the sun go up and the sun go down. Yesterday's far away, now you're gone, oh so long. Winter's colder skies are gray, so standing in the devil's way, we gather round to fight the storm. Let the fire keep tomorrow warm. Yesterday's far away, and now you're gone, oh so long. Round and round the world goes round, while we stay standing on the ground. And everybody come gather round, watch the sun go up and the sun go down. And we let the rain fall down. The world keeps spinning round and round. We let the waves roll in, build our homes again. All right, my wonderful friends, this is bang, the last song of the evening, and I want to express my gratitude to everybody for making the trip up here. Especially, I know a lot of people here came like a couple hours, and I have alluded to it. But this is not only objectively such a cool place to play and be, but also just for me one of the best, most rewarding shows I've played. And I remember the first time Will called me and asked me to do this Snuggery Sessions show. And I was like, yeah, I definitely want to do it, but I was like, there's no way that I'm going to get the amount of people that you want all the way out there. I live 2 hours away. And obviously, you guys made me wrong. So I really appreciate that. I remember when, like when you're on tour, as I have been, a lot of places will say, "What's your draw?" That's a common question in the music game, and I've always been honest about it. A lot of musicians lie, because if you get the gig, then you get the gig, and then what are they going to do once you're there? But I've sent a lot of emails that said my draw is 0, and so it's pretty amazing for me to play this show and have all of you guys come here. But and 0 isn't good, obviously, but 1 is worse. 1 is worse. 1 is the worst number of people. 0 is the second worst number. But 1 is bad because 1 is the worst because 2 is also not good. But 2 people, they're probably either they're a couple and then hopefully they're having a good time. And sometimes they're not, but it's like that's on them, you know. And if they're 2 solo people, then you have a triangle, which I learned in tech ed in high school is the strongest shape. But one person is terrible because either they leave and then you go from 1 to 0, which is way worse than just being at 0. Or they stay, and if they stay, I have this constant guilty conscience that they're only staying because they would feel bad if they left. So 1, it's just terrible. And I was already working on this song. I was thinking, how am I going to finish up this show? And I had this song that was these little vignettes of stories from the road. And then I went, like, I was almost done the song. I was like, what's the next verse, the last verse going to be like? And I played a show like the next night. I played for 1 person. And I thought, that's what we'll do. And they always try to offer words of encouragement, you know, like you could play the same exact set for 40 people and people come up to you afterwards and they'll be like, you're so great, man. Or what kind of guitar is that? Which also, another reason that I'm playing these dumb little folky songs, not dumb, these simple little folky songs is because I'm trying to get people to stop asking me about my guitars. I don't know anything about guitars, and I don't want to hear some 67-year-old guy tell me that he has a 72 Strat in his basement. I don't care. So I'm hoping if I keep doing this kind of thing that people will be like, what word did you just say? And then I'll be like, oh, that was razzle-dazzle, which is a synonym for razzmatazz. But if you do the same thing for 1 person, they always think that you suck, and they try to offer all these words of encouragement, and I'm like, I don't need that, my man. They'll be like, you know, Jim Croce wasn't famous until after he died, and I'm like, that seems like a heavy price to pay. I don't want to have to do all that to be successful in this. So, anyway, thank you all for being here. This is my last song. There's a billboard a few miles up the road. It asks where you going, heaven or hell. I'm just trying to make it to St. George before dark. And if I don't, oh well, I'll just sleep in the parking lot of some lucky hotel. Steal their free breakfast in the morning. Don't mind me, I'm just treating myself. I'm gluten-free, so I won't take your waffles, unfortunately, and I can't eat your toast. But I'll stuff my pockets with apples and bananas and fill up a coffee cup for the road. While I was loading in for my show, she asked where I come from. I don't know, I'm always kinda on the go. She said the internet says you're from San Diego, so it must be true, but that'd make me crazy, 'cause who would ever leave San Diego? I drive 3,000 miles to play these shows so I can come back and tell you these stories from the road. a small hippie town on the Oregon coast. Somehow my dream led me to a hole in the wall. Cowboy theme, topless place, live music under a disco ball. On the bartender's chest, she had a tattoo, 222 pistols. Her only customer besides me was tipping her in crystals. And just as I was thinking, my friends back home will never believe this stuff, a guy who claimed his name was Rose Petal walked in, and Rose Petal was looking rough. He sat in a booth, tuned up his banjo, started playing it with a violin bow, singing a song about smoking magic drugs. And I was like, my friends back home are never gonna believe this stuff. I drive 3,000 miles to play these shows so I can come back and tell you these stories from the road. 3,000 miles to play these shows so I can come back and tell you these stories from the road. I was playing in Denver, there was one person there, and even she didn't seem to care. She was on the phone the whole time with somebody. Think she probably felt bad leaving me with nobody. So I beat her to the punch, I took a set break. It's easier to leave than be left, for God's sake. She walked up to me, said she likes how I sing, and some other attempts at encouraging things. Here's what she said. She said, you know, Jim Croce wasn't really recognized until he died. I said, excuse me, miss, if I've got too much pride, but I don't believe anyone should have to die to be appreciated for the work they do while they're alive. I drive 3,000 miles to play these shows so I can come back and tell you these stories from the road. Well, I drive 3,000 miles to play these shows so I can come back and tell you these stories from the road. I drive 3,000 miles to play these shows so I can come back and tell you these stories from the road, from the road, from the road, from the road. Thank you guys so much.
Performance. So the more we clap will not necessarily come back out playing another song, but hopefully we may get another performance someday.